Rise and shine, everybody, and welcome to another edition of House Flipper. Coming at you with more HGTV DLC house flips. Thank you very much for being here, and welcome to some more exciting house flip action. Today, our plan is to make a gardener's paradise. In the last episode, you will have noticed that we made the gamer's paradise, and it turned out fantastic. Could not have been happier with our man cave. And today, we're going to be purchasing a house in a thicket, and we're going to be making a gardener's paradise like you have never seen before, and I'm super excited about it, so let's not waste any time. Let's purchase this bad boy and jump right in. Let's go! As you can see, it is essentially right in the middle of a forest, aka a thicket, and we're going to have a lot of cleaning up to do and a lot of chopping down to do. But once we've done it, we are going to be ready to make a fantastic garden. Let's do this thing. All right, so here we are, and we have a pretty big yard. It's not a lot of space in the front, which is fine. We've got a nice garage here, which will be nice for stuff. And we have a lot of space out here to the right. We're gonna have a lot of room to work with. There's gonna be a lot of garbage to pick up too, and I think we're gonna be able to do some different quadrants perhaps too, like a big square section over here, and then we could transition over here. Got another little space there. Should be a lot of room to make some really cool stuff, I think, get done. And yeah, not too bad. We're gonna make a gardener's paradise. Now, let's take a look inside the house and see just what we've purchased. I'm going to open up the door here, and right away, like many of the homes in the House Flipper game, you're presented with a hallway and a bunch of doors. So we're going to be knocking a lot of doors down, I would imagine. In here, we have a garage. So perhaps we can set the garage up to be kind of a workshop, if you will, maybe. We'll see. But that's in there. Off to the right, we've got a small little room here, and looks like, now that could be an interesting idea there. Kind of gives me some thoughts as well. And over here, see, this is very interesting. The same kind of thing again, where we could maybe do some big doors. I'm not really sure how that's going to end up feeling. Maybe we just throw some walls up. I don't know. That's going to be interesting. And then again down here, just door leading to this corridor central here. Like literally corridor central. Holy cow. It's like a freaking maze. Oh my god. I don't even know. That's just like, I've never seen anything like that in my life. Okay. So we're going to be chopping down some trees, and we're going to be chopping down some walls, I think, too, because this is insane. Looks pretty interesting. I think it could be a lot of fun to work with. There's just stuff all over the ground here. But yeah, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to come on outside here, and we're going to clean up. We're going to start to clean this place up a little bit. And we're going to chop down some trees. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get the lumberjack on. We're going to just chop down. I'm not going to chop down every tree, but probably most of them. Holy cow, there's just bushes everywhere. They literally built this house in the middle of a forest. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys go for just a few minutes, and when we come back, we will have the garbage picked up, and we will have a lot of stuff sold off and a lot of trees chopped down. So thank you for being here, and we will see you in just a couple of moments. Alright, everybody, and welcome back. We have done all kinds of cleanup. We've chopped down all kinds of trees, and we have destroyed all kinds of walls inside the house. And we are just about ready to start putting pieces of the puzzle back on the board and making this thing complete. So as you can see, we've taken out most everything out there in the yard, and we have just a few I've kept in place because I might keep those as natural growth. We've got a tree out front, a couple trees along the right-hand side here, some trees on the back. So let me walk you through the plan for what we're going to do outside, and then we'll go on inside. So at the front, of course, we're going to have a driveway here, and then a little pathway coming around to the front door, and then we'll have this patio area here, which will lead to a path that comes up through here, which will be essentially the first garden area. And the garden is going to walk through here. And what I want to do is I'm hoping to have a little bit of a pond up through the middle between these two sections. And then a little bridge that goes over top of them. I'm going to try and figure that out. And just kind of create that as part of a transition area between the garden here and the garden area over here. And so what will happen is this will all kind of open up, like I said, and become the second garden area. The pathway will continue through. And I've kept 3 trees down here at the back, and we'll have a little pathway that could possibly wind down through these trees and wind around this corner and down the back side. And then on this side over here, we'll have what will be like an edible vegetable / fruit garden in there, and then maybe along the back here. Hopefully we can get lots of room and have stuff filled in and, you know, not feel like it's too crowded and stuff. So this will be the vegetable garden area over here like this. And then the pathway down through here, maybe some bushes and stuff, trees, flowers, whatever, along the side of the house here, leading to the front of the house where the driveway would be. And then maybe one small little garden over in the corner like this. And then just try to leave some of the grass. Because I want there to be some grass in this place, right? So there'll be grass up through here and along the side. There'll be grass along the back. And then possibly some grass in here in the front. And a couple little transition areas along the fence and the edges and stuff. There'll be little bits of grass as well. So, with that being said, how about we jump inside and we take a look at where we're at. We still have our garage area all cleaned up. And we've got our hallway that will come down through here. And what I essentially did was take out literally all of the walls. And I put this wall back up, as you can see right here. And I've created what is essentially going to be the kitchen, dining, living space. And then we're going to have triple French doors along here that will be access out into the garden. And so we're going to have a kitchen around here, maybe a little bit of an island out here, leading to a dining space in the middle. And then down at the end, we'll have just a little living seating area, which will have a nice view of the garden as well. And that'll be that. And then over here, we're going to have 2 bedrooms and a bath. And I debated trying to figure out a way to get it to be 2 bedrooms and 2 baths. But unfortunately, it just didn't feel like there was going to be enough space. So what I'm probably going to do is we're going to have a master bedroom here that will come out in this area. And then they'll have a little sitting area. This will be like the master sitting area back in here with a couple of chairs maybe and a bookshelf. And then it'll have direct access out into the garden. And then we'll have another bedroom along the back. And then the bathroom kind of in between them. We'll try and figure out a way to squeeze them all in there. It shouldn't be too difficult. I'm going to have the wall actually extend off of here instead of off of here. And so that should buy us enough space to get a nice bedroom in the back, and then we'll do the master in the front. I was actually thinking about maybe doing like this back area as maybe a couple beds, a couple of small beds for kids or something like that, maybe in the back area there as a bedroom. Not 100% sure, but I think that's a possibility anyway. So yeah, this is going to be it. We're going to have a big living space here adjacent to the triple French doors that come out to a big, beautiful garden. It's going to be fantastic. I hope you guys are excited to see it. So when we come back, we'll have the land a little bit more looking the way we need it to in order to actually build the garden. And maybe we'll have all the walls up inside as well. So that's it. Thank you very much for being here, and we'll see you in just a couple of moments. All right, everybody. It is time to catch you up on where we're at. I want to show you everything I've done so far and let you know what the plans are moving forward. So let's take a quick look. And as you can see, there has been a fair amount of progress in transforming this landscape into the gardener's utopia that we are striving for. So as you can see, we've thrown in the sod. We've laid down the grass and filled in a lot of the patchwork holes and stuff. We've laid down the driveway, which I think turned out really nice. I started out the driveway by trying to do these concrete blocks here with the 100 by 100 look, but it just looked a little bit too patchworky, and it didn't really look like a driveway to me. And then I tried out this sports. This is called the sports surface, and the dark gray, and it actually turns out really, really nicely. And then I used the concrete blocks here to kind of cut off the edges here and give it a little trim, and I feel like it really completes it really nicely. I think it's going to look really good. And over here we've got a bunch more grass filled in. All the holes are patched up. We've got our walkway around here, and we've chosen our tiles like this. I think it looks really nicely over here. And what I've basically done is I'm going to have 2 gardens on this side of the house. And there's going to be basically 2 completely different worlds, if you will. And we've created a pond in the middle with a bridge going over top that will separate the 2 worlds. So on this world over here, we're going to have it's going to be a lot greener. There's going to be some color, but it's going to be a lot greener. We've laid down a lot of mulch. And I've got the basic shape. I have a lot of work ahead of me in actually creating the smooth lines and edges all the way around here. But I've given the basic shape of what it's going to look like. So you're going to see a lot of conifers and stuff like that filling in this whole area. And then I'll find little patches to put in some color and give it some life and things like that. And then the pathway is going to come off of here. And it's going to head down this way. And it's going to wrap around out here like this. Just like that. And then it'll come back up through here and hook up to the bridge. And then as you get across here, you can see we've laid down the sand. And I want to do a little bit of a Japanese inspired look. So you can see here I've got a couple of examples of some of the artwork we can use. And I want to use, just a few little pieces to try and give it a Japanese garden kind of look. And scattered throughout, we're going to have a pathway that's going to move around throughout here and hook up back this way. And kind of move out into this area, and then we'll have a section that comes down here. And it's going to be just kind of I want a little bit of symmetry on this. I want to create some symmetry and kind of pleasant feeling to this whole look on this side. And I think it's going to look pretty cool. There's just going to be a small little island of green grass around this tree that heads back into this corner. So this is going to be a lot more sand back in here we can work with. And then it's going to swoop up here and the sand will come down like this. And hopefully we can come up with some really fun ways to make this garden pop, if you will. So should be pretty good. And then over here, I've got the hammock set up. And I'm really happy with the way that looks. So what's going to happen is we're going to have a pathway that kind of splits off of here. And it's going to wrap out around this, like this. It's a thin little pathway. I'm going to keep mostly, I think, just grass in this area. But just a nice little pathway that leads down this way, cuts through these trees, and then it's going to cut around through here and head down the side of the house. And in this area, as spoken before, I still have a couple patches here, which I may not need to fill in because it's probably not going to be grass anyway. This is going to be a great big, like a garden for vegetables, fruits and vegetables and stuff. So I'll probably have a section over here. And then the pathway will cut through and have a section on each side of fruits and vegetables. And then we'll head down the side here, and I'll probably just put in some sort of, I'm not sure exactly, maybe some color, but mostly just some bushes and stuff probably along here to fill in that space as the path comes down here and wraps around to the front again. And then probably, just because there's a lot of space here, I don't want to just put a tree or something, so I'll probably do a small little garden in this corner as well. With some flowers and a little pop to it. So give some life in there as the garden wraps around. So that's the plan for the outside. I think it's going to be pretty nice. And let me take you inside and show you what I've done. So I spent a lot of time breaking down walls and trying to figure out how to design this place and fill the whole area in and be able to come up with the rooms I want and the space I want. And it took me quite a while, but I finally settled on this design. So we've got our kitchen area here, potentially a little island. I want to have directly on this middle window a dining room table like this. And then over in this corner, we're just going to have a nice little living room sitting area that will have a nice little view of the garden as well. So that's the overall plan for in here. And then down this way, as you can see, we've created a bit of a hallway. And so as you come down this way, you've got yourself a spare bedroom in here. So this is, you have guests over or whatever. This would be a nice little spot for a spare bedroom. And when you come down this way, you're going to have the bathroom. You're going to be able to tuck the shower in this corner here. Maybe a bathtub under the window. And, sink and toilet down the down end. And there's plenty of room. It's going to be a nice little bathroom. I played around with the idea of trying to get a secondary bathroom and a ensuite, but there's just not enough space. So I did this, and it's got a bit of a funny little shape to it, but I don't mind it too much because it kind of creates an entrance to the hallway or a little landing area here for going into the master. The master is not spectacular at all as far as size is concerned, but I think it's going to be pretty nice. I've created this little alcove here, which will serve as a little wardrobe area. Maybe a little mirror here or something like that. And then we've got this little bonus area over here where we'll have a couple of chairs set up. Maybe a little bookshelf or something. A nice little area just to relax in the evenings before you head to bed or whatever like that. I always like to have that kind of space in a master bedroom when I'm setting things up. So that's going to look pretty good. And then through this direction here, we are going to have... I still need to fill that in. I forgot to fill that in there. But we've got the wraparound patio coming through here. And I like that there'll be direct access out of the master into the garden, and particularly, you know, it'll look kind of nice to have. I might have some stepping stones out to the hammock like that, create a little atmosphere. Maybe some flowers under the window. I'm not really sure, but there's lots of different options we can do there. So yeah, I think this could be cool. Access from the master out to the garden, and of course the massive garden out here. So lots of work to do. I'm going to spend hours probably sculpting the edges of this garden. So when we return, things should look a lot more complete. Thank you for being here, folks, and we'll see you in just a couple of moments. Okay, folks, it's time for another update on our Gardener's Paradise, and I do believe you're going to like what you see. Or I sure hope you do anyway, because this has been a massive project that has already taken way longer than any other flip that I've done, and I've yet to spend much time inside at all. Now, at this point I was planning to show you guys the complete garden, but there has been a lot of transformation already, and I felt like there was a natural point right here where I could give you another update on the status of the garden before we do a final reveal next. So, here it is. Let's take a look. As you can see, we still have yet to do the exterior of the home. That'll be possibly even the last thing I do, actually. I've added in a little bit of stonework in and around the interlock paving stones, just to give a little bit more flow. It felt a little bit, I don't know, the edges just felt a little bit square, and it gave a little bit more fluidity moving into the garden over here, which, as you can see, has taken quite the transformation indeed. I absolutely love the way this has turned out. We had our nice, smooth, long pathways here, which I think look fantastic. And yeah, it took a long time, boy. Whew. Man, oh man, it was a lot of time going through all the plants and placing them down and trying to figure out where to put them. And you put some stuff down and take some stuff off and move some stuff around. There's a few sections that I completely deleted and redid because I wasn't happy with it. Playing around with where to put stuff as well. Like I got a little owl back in here, our little elephant here. We've got the nice little gateway in here, which I thought was really nice. Little pond, like a little water feeder pond there for the birdies. And a feeder back there as well. And then back in here, we have a little seat as well you could kind of enjoy the garden from. I was thinking about the possibility of doing some small stones, some stepping stones to come back in here. Possibly. I don't know. I don't know. Thinking about it anyway. Maybe I won't. It might be a little bit cluttered if I did that, but it was a thought I had. But anyway, this is part one. Part two is over here. So as you pass through your little gate here, you can slide left into the house, or you can slide right over the bridge. And on this part, we have ourselves a little makeshift Japanese-inspired Zen garden set in the sand. And we've got some pathways here. So we've got a little pathway up here where we'll have... I wanted to keep it really wide open, but there'll be... I've got some flower boxes here, so I still have yet to put the flowers in them. But we've got them scattered about, and I think they look pretty good. I had a couple more, and then I deleted some, then I moved some around, trying to find a way to make sure it's not cluttered. I didn't want to have a bunch of these boxes everywhere and just feel like there was just too many flowers all over the place. So I kind of tried to get them scattered about really nicely. I absolutely love this Japanese maple here in the front, right kind of in the middle. It gives a lot of focus to the center of the garden. And it's kind of centered on this bridge and on that entranceway there. And I really feel like it fit the theme really well, and kind of acts as a central point to break up the sections of the garden. So it was really good. So as you can see here, we just wrap around here, we just wrap around here, and we have a little bit of a shrine over in here as well, which I thought looked pretty good. And we have a water feature here with some stuff. I was considering putting in a couple more of those, but I'm not sure how it will look to have a bunch of them. I might put them in. They're really expensive, so if I decide to put them in and take them out, it's going to be a costly endeavor. But I might just put a couple more in and see how it looks. I wish what you could actually do is just make one really big one. I'd pay big money for just one really big one, but you can't, so what are you going to do? But overall, absolutely love the way this looks. I love that I kept these two big trees here. Provide a lot of shade to the area, and you know, kind of some serious height and definition to the spot as well. So I like it a lot. And then, as you can see, we still have yet to do anything with this here, but we'll have some furniture and we'll figure out some stuff along in here. And then as you come over here, we have a winding garden, or winding path, I should say, to the other garden. And this here is just getting started. And this is going to be a vegetable and fruit garden over here. We've got some tomatoes lined up along the back, yet to be planted. Then we have some cherry tomatoes here. And we're going to just decide on a few different things. I'm going to have some strawberries, at least a couple rows of strawberries. And maybe a couple rows of cabbage. And then some carrots. I'd also like to incorporate this kind of makeshift windmill. It's not really a windmill. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't think it functions. I don't think there's a way to turn it on. No, there isn't. But I thought it might look nice if it's not too big. It might be a little bit too big. But I was thinking about trying it kind of in the middle. It might just kind of dominate the space and not look very good. In which case, I'll just scrap it. And then over here, we've got some vines for grapes. There's 3 different kinds, and I'm going to kind of wrap those around the house here, like this. And then we've got raspberries and blueberries, and I'll probably just fill in the rest of this area with those. And yeah, I think overall that's going to look really nice. And then finally, the pathway is just going to come down through here. I'll probably wrap it down close to the house and then back out over here like this, because I want to get these apple trees in. I'm thinking maybe 3 apple trees along here. 3 or 4 apple trees. There's 3 or 4 different kinds as well, so just some different apple trees along here might look really nice. And I am going to do this entire side of the house in the vines as well, with crawling up the sides. I think it's going to look really nicely along there. And then over here, the final step will be, I'm just going to put in a flower garden, and it's just going to be straight up, just nothing but beautiful, bright flowers all in this area, in this one corner here, just to give a little bit more life to this corner. And instead of just being only grass, we have a big section of grass here as well. So there's plenty of green to go with all the colors. So there you go. That is the update. Next time you see us, we will have the garden 100% complete, and we will be getting started on the interior, which needs some serious work. All right, we will see you very soon. All right, everybody, it's time to take a final tour of a completed garden. Let me show you what 20 hours of hard work outdoors, getting your hands dirty, can get done for you. So, you guys have seen this a little bit, pretty much for the most part already on this side. The garden path, of course, takes you around here. You guys, like I said, have seen this already. And the Zen garden over here, we've added in the flowers. And I think it's just the right mix of color and the use of space without making it feel crowded. And I feel overall like the space is well utilized and looks pretty good. Now coming down here, I chose to take out the windmill, and we've put in this nice little water mill, and it's not too bad, or well, I guess, not water mill, a water well. And then in here we've got our vegetable and fruit garden. We've got the grapevines along the back, 3 different kinds of grapevines along the back here. Then we have our raspberry bushes and our blueberry bushes over here. And then over here, we've got regular tomatoes and cherry tomatoes along the back. We got some strawberries, some lettuce, carrots, and rutabagas, or whatever the heck they call those things. Can't remember what they call them. And these here, I don't even know what these are, but they're a nice looking edible bush. Really nice little look to them. So as you wander through this beautiful pathway, I absolutely love the way this turned out, by the way. The way the pathway works, just fantastic stuff. And down here, nice little pathway down the side. We have 3 different apple trees along the side here. I thought made a nice little addition. I've put these up here, but the way that the hitboxes go with these, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to put them next to each other, and I'm not sure if it's going to actually look all that nice, so that might be a failed thought there. I'm not sure what I'll do with this other than obviously paint it up or whatever we're going to do for exterior. And then finally, the final piece of the puzzle here was putting together a nice little flower garden in the corner, and I absolutely love the way this turned out. It's nicely layered from front to back like this. And it's got lots of different colors and pretty much every flower in the game. And it's just extraordinary. I considered paring down the number of colors used and making it a little bit more blended that way. But I felt like just having a plethora of color in there really makes it pop. And inside the house, let's take a look at some of the options we have for filling up the walls. So in the kitchen area, we've chosen a really nice tile here, a little bit bold, but pushing it against the backdrop of the beige. And I've chosen beige, a nice neutral color to put against this wall, because I didn't want a bold statement to draw your eye away from the view that'll come through the French doors. And then down at the very end here, we're going to have a couple of different options here. I think this is probably got the best shot. Maybe neither one ends up being the color, but I want this wall to be a bold statement color to work against the beige, just to bring a little bit of life into the room. And then we'll probably use those colors as well, beige and whatever, to work down the hallway as well. And welcome back, everybody, to the furnishings update. We've got lots of stuff to show you inside the house, so let's take a look. In the garage, we've done the most basic washer-dryer setup you can get. Put in a sink, little storage area, and then the washer and dryer. House is awfully small. There wasn't really any place we could ever fit this. We could have just skipped over it, but I figured it was a nice little addition most people would like to have. And we got this massive garage. You might as well do something with it other than park a car. So that's that. As we enter into the hallway here, got some basic storage that you would want to have in your entranceway. Nicely done up, I think. We've got a little cabinet here that, you know, could potentially do for storing your fine dining dishes and stuff like that, or whatever. Maybe some books, whatever you want to call it. And we got the kitchen fully done up here. I like the way it looks very, very much. Well appointed with everything you could ask for, including a dishwasher that we just snuck in here. It's unfortunate that the dishwasher doesn't install into like under a cabinet like they do in real life, so that you could like just basically have the countertop that goes over top of it, basically. But this still looks fine, not too bad. And then over here we got the dining table set up perfectly on the center French door, and just the most basic of furniture over here. Just a nice place to sit down at the end of a long day in the garden, maybe with a cup of coffee or with some dessert, something like that. Visit with some friends, whatever you want to call it. Got a lot of detailing and stuff. Got to put in some plants and lights and stuff like that. Obviously, that's the next step. But yeah, I kind of like this. I tried a few different things. I tried some sectional sofas, like some big things like that, but it just felt like it filled up the area too much. And I tried some armchairs and stuff, but I don't really like a lot of the armchairs in this game because some of them look too big, some of them look way too small. So I decided to just go with a couple of pieces of couch, a couple of couches that complemented one another a little bit, brought a little bit of an eclectic style, and of course in the same size, so they kind of match well together. And yeah, I kind of like it. The overall, the space feels really good, so I like it. Down here, let's take a quick look. We've got spare bedroom in here, nice and simple. Colors are a little bold, but I don't mind it. It's fine. If somebody wanted to paint over that wall, they perfectly welcome to do so. But I think it looks pretty nice, so I'm sticking with it. One thing you did notice, I actually took one row off of this wall right here. This wall used to come out here, and I brought it back, and that was actually to make things a little bit fit a little bit nicer in the master, as well as just make this hallway feel a little bit less claustrophobic as you come down here. And another change I made is you'll notice I've got the door here instead of right here. And the reason I did that, by the way, how great does this look? This is essentially done. The detailing is done. I've got a couple pictures up. I absolutely love the way this whole room turned out. It's very bold. It wouldn't necessarily be everyone's taste, but I absolutely love. Other than lights and curtain, it's pretty much done. But I think it looks really cool. It's really well appointed. But anyway, I had when I put the shower in, it felt like it was way too far back there, and when the wall actually came out too further here, came out to here, right? So there's one here and one here, and so when you came in the door like this, the wall came to here, so you could actually walk through to the shower, but it was a tight fit, and I wanted to keep the bathtub underneath the window so that I'd have space down here for a little cabinet or some sort. And so what I decided to do was, I thought, why do I have the door here when it doesn't matter where I put the door, anywhere in this hallway, it's going to be fine. I could have put the door here for that matter, just had a long walkway through into the bathroom, but there wouldn't be much point in that either. So we put it here, and as you walk in, you've got a little bit of a landing area here and plenty of space to walk through past your double sink area, which I think looks great. And then it also looks a lot sharper to have the wall come right flush with where the shower is instead of having it jut out like this, which had it feel deep into the room. So I think it turned out fantastic. I love it. And that's pretty much done. And finally, in the master, we have got a bit of an old-fashioned kind of look, but I like the way it turned out. Funnily enough, I've kind of been targeting this older couple in the on the left-hand side. You'll see the where are they? The buyers. I've been targeting these guys right here because I kind of felt like this home it's smaller but has a massive garden area. I thought, an older couple, retired, kids are off, maybe they got grandchildren, they love to work in the garden all day, and it just kind of felt like that would be the feel for this house, as opposed to somebody young who's not going to want to spend all day out in the garden. So that was kind of what I had in my head as I was building this whole gardener's dream kind of area. And so then I just was like, you know what? Some of this furniture looks really nice. I put down this bed, and I'm like, this bed looks really cool. And then what can I put with it? And the only stuff that really went was all the old classic furniture. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of like the look of it. We got a little bit of space down here with a couple of chairs. We're going to have, of course, a lot of detailing up to do in this room. But the furniture I'm pretty much set on, and I don't mind the look of it. So we're going to do it. And then, of course, we're going to put a door in here, and then it access out to the back and into the garden. So that's the furnishings. So I hope you guys like it so far. I just have a little bit of work left to do. We're going to do some detailing inside. We're going to get a few more pictures up, lightings, plants, a few accessories, the basics. And I'm going to do outside. I'm going to try and get a little bit of furniture down as well on our patios. And then I'm going to do some lights as well out here to make it look really nice. So when we return, we should have this house about 99% of the way there. So stay tuned. Okay, folks, night has fallen on our gardener's paradise, and I have got lots to show you, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump right in. So, I've done all the lighting on the exterior. Really, the only thing left to do on the house, on the entire house, is the exterior of the house, and that will be on the big reveal at the end of the video. But for now, I wanted to show you how we had the lights for the exterior done. So did the whole pathway up with all kinds of lights. Did lights along the side of the house there as well, you can see. And I think it looks pretty sweet at night. I think it looks really, really nice. I used different lamps in the Japanese-inspired Zen garden. to give a little bit more of a Japanese kind of feel, I think. So they look pretty nice, I think, for sure. And yeah, I like the way it looks overall. And if you come down this way, we've got lights all the way down this back path, of course, like this. And of course, I consider putting more lights in and around this area, but in reality, you don't really need a lot of lights and stuff. You're not going to be gardening at night, right? And you don't need this all lit up. And I feel like it kind of adds a little bit of mysterious look to have the area kind of dark in the background and that, and just kind of, you know, there's this intimate feel as you walk through the garden and get the lights all down the back side here. And that, and you can see I've got all the stuff ready to put down on the house there going forward. So that is the nighttime look outside. Now let's take a look inside at what we've done. As you come inside here, we've got ourselves a nice little entranceway here. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I love the color contrast. The lighting is perfect. The rug draws everything together so nicely. We've got a place to put your stuff when you come in. If guests come in, they've got a place to put their stuff, you know. Nice little storage area here. I think that turns out really, really well. The colors all look really nice. And as we turn around, we have a completed living space, which I think looks fantastic, if I do say so myself. Really happy with how these cabinets kind of pull the area together and, you know, take up a little bit of space and kind of complete that kitchen island kind of feel. So that looks pretty nice, I think. We got a little bit of accessories. Try not to overdo it. I had a few more things up here actually at one point. I'm not 100% sure if I got it all exactly the way I want it, but I decided to stop fiddling and just call it a day. And I think it looks pretty good. And then over here, we've got just a simple little area to sit down and relax at the end of the day. Pulled it together with some plants and looks pretty good. And then I love the way that this rug kind of separates the whole thing, and it creates, without using any walls, it creates its own little space for the dining area, and, you know, kind of divides up this open living space into 3 separate areas, and I think it looks really nice. So I'm really happy with how that went. And then we'll, oh, by the way, I love the way this bookshelf turned out as well. I wasn't a big fan of the bookshelf itself. I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything with it, but it's nice and small, so it doesn't take up too much space. And then I started putting some plants on it and put a couple things there, and I'm like, that actually just looks perfect. So I'm really happy with that. And then, of course, we've got some artwork down the hallway here to fill things up. Looks pretty good. The completed guest bedroom in here, I think it looks pretty snazzy. Nothing too special. I tried not to waste too much time on detailing. Just got a little shelf up there with a few things. You know, keep it fairly simple. The colors are kind of bold. It probably wouldn't be exactly how you'd want to do up the room, to be honest with you, if you're trying to sell a house. Because all it takes is one person to come in here and say, oh, I hate pink, and then they're not going to buy the house. But, you know, you can always take a bucket of paint to that. So, I turned out, I like it. I don't mind it at all. It's nothing special, nothing fantastic, but I like it. And in here, you guys have seen this for the most part, but here it is under light. Double sink was a big victory, I feel, and lots of room for the shower and the tub and some storage, and it just all feels like it comes together really nicely. So I'm happy with how that turned out. And finally, the completed master, and I love this. I absolutely love it. I actually just showed this to my wife, and she was kind of like, I don't know. But I'm like, really? I love it. And I don't know, maybe you guys leave some comments down below and let me know what you feel. She thought that was too red. I actually kind of love this old traditional kind of look. And I just feel like it's really nice. I like the way this end part kind of contrasts with that nice kind of cool beige kind of lower tones with the strength of a lot of the reds that pop and a little bit of blues as well. I don't know. I just like the way it looks. I feel it's really nice. It might not be everyone's taste. Again, it's probably kind of bold for if you're trying to flip a house, but I just kind of started, you know, I put this bed down and I just started working with it and adding in pieces that went with it, and this carpet just sung to me the right tune, and you know what? We're just going with it. And I went with it, and I like it. Probably some others don't, but I feel like it just, I don't know, just felt like it would just speak to the right person at some point, and they want to buy the house. So we're sticking with it. I love that painting too, by the way. It really fits the tune. Fits the genre, if you will. So that is it. This is the interior of the house. Under lighting, I decided to do this segment with it dark outside so you guys can see the house lit up. I think it looks fantastic. Just the right amount of balance in lighting and angles. And I really love this open space here and the story it tells as you look out onto the garden. So there you go. When we return, we will have the final take on this entire place. I'm going to go with the stone. You can see here this stonework is going to go on this section here and wrap around the side of the house. And I'm going to choose between a couple of different wood panelings for this spot here on the right, for this section on the right. It's kind of between these two. The other option was I was considering this richer kind of look here, but these didn't really meld together very well, so it's probably in third place for likelihood to be chosen. But yeah, I don't know. I like the look of it on its own, but not against this. And then that'll be all the way around here, and then this final section here is going to be painted. And I feel like these two paints probably the leading candidates. Maybe this has got a shot. Two are definitely out. It's going to depend when we get it under sunlight how it's going to look. But we'll have, on this side, it'll be the wood paneling all the way up, then painted around the side, and then it'll be stone there wrapped in. So it's going to depend on which one goes with each the best. So should be pretty interesting. And when we return, you will be able to see the finished product. We're going to put this thing into the gardening competition. Hopefully we win. If we don't, I'm going to be very upset after the hours I've spent on it. And then we'll saw it off. So thank you for being here, and we'll see you in just a couple of moments. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just like that, the house is complete. And I am really happy with how the exterior turned out. I hope you guys are as well. I think it looks really nice. We ended up with a really kind of bright looking wood here, as you can see. It actually looks pretty nice. I was kind of leaning towards some of the darker tones, and then as I put this one up, I'm like, you know what, let's just put it up around this edge here and see how it looks against the stonework. And it actually provided a really nice contrast, and the color itself actually goes really well with the garden, so I think it looks great. We've also put in some furniture out front here, and we've come around the back, and I put some furniture in the back as well off of the master suite. And I got rid of the barbecue as well. We can perhaps pretend there's a barbecue in the garage maybe that you would pull out. But I really like the way the bamboo worked on the right-hand side, so I decided to mirror it on the left. And I think it looks really nice. But overall, that's just about it. The garden is complete. It absolutely looks amazing. I can't stop looking at it. I've taken like 100 pictures of it. And what I've actually decided to do is I'm actually not going to sell this property right away. In fact, I might end up turning this into my office. I might turn that back bedroom into an office and just call this my home office for a while, because after nearly 30 hours, somewhere in the vicinity of 30 hours of hard labor in this garden, doing all these pathways and planting all these flowers, the idea of selling this thing off and never seeing it again kind of breaks my heart. So we are going to keep it for a while. You'll be able to see it as we do more episodes in the future. And at some point, maybe we'll sell it. But what I would like to do real quick before we wrap this thing up is I want to take this thing to the next level and throw it into the garden competition. Now, I had never actually done this before, and I didn't realize that there was like specific things you had to enter into. And so I didn't really know, like, you know, you had to specifically meet certain requirements for different competitions. We've got a little bit of everything. Maybe not the American section, but we've got crop, of course. We got the English, and we got the modern look as well. So we're going to throw it into the English look here, and we're going to get 5 stars across the board, 322 points. Holy cow. The value of the property has been increased by 48%. Professional garden, well-lit garden, practical garden, and a lot of plants. A whole bunch of pluses. The one penalty is the equipment left, and I think it might be because I have some paint in the garage, which is kind of bogus. But what are you going to do? I think it looks pretty fantastic, and the game does as well. Looks pretty good. Now, what I wanted to do is, I'm also going to just go ahead and put this on the auction block. I don't think I have to actually sell it once I'm in the auction block, so I should be fine. But I'm curious about what this thing's going to reap for... oh, really? I thought that it was going to be a lot more money than that. Wait a minute. What? How is that a profit of $92,000? Oh, okay. So they're paying they want to pay just under 140,000. That was the family I was targeting, by the way, the Jantart family. So that they came through. So they're bidding 140, but then you get extra profit from the garden. That's not the way I thought it would look. I thought they would just be willing to bid that much more for it. So really, after all that work, the garden work got me $67,000, which is fantastic. But the difference between my expenses and what they're willing to pay was only about $25,000. That's a little bit disappointing. I thought that was going to be, I've spent a lot of money on furniture. Over $26,000. Now, obviously, a lot of that gets sold back. So it was somewhere in the vicinity of about $20,000 I spent on furniture to put this place together, and rental costs was another close to $9,000. So it's kind of disappointing that it wasn't worth more. I guess they don't really, when they're purchasing the house, they don't really take into consideration the garden that much, other than maybe just little parts of what their desires are for the house. And then, so the inside of the house, I thought it looked fantastic. We upgraded it quite a bit, but that part was actually not worth as much as I was hoping that it would be a bigger profit overall between those. But hey, all that work, all those hours in the garden got us $67,000 extra dollars if we want to sell it. So I guess if we sell it, I'm not selling it. But so if we sold it for this, maybe we could negotiate as well. I guess we just get this extra money from the garden competition, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure how that works. Refuse offer. Yeah, so that cost me $3,500. What are you going to do? I'm not selling the place. You can't have it. It's mine. And I love it. I hope you guys do as well. Please leave some comments down below. Let me know what you thought about this one. I'd love to hear what you guys think about that master bedroom. Just kind of settle the dispute between me and the wife. And yeah, let me know what you think about it overall, what you thought about the garden. I really want to hear your comments on this one. Please let me know. Also, leave a like. Can't tell you how big of a difference it makes to me. We'll see you next time, folks. Bye-bye.